The first question for all three of you: when did you guys all make the decision and realize it was time to bet on yourself?
Betting on yourself is believing in yourself. And I had a good bank job in my early 20s. And I literally left my bank job, benefits and everything, with two young kids to pursue free enterprise.
His wife thought he was crazy.
Yeah, so I wanted to liberate myself back then because I felt like I had inherent talent and I knew I could do something with it. So 1995, after 5 years on the job, doing a corporate rat race, I just decided to leave. And I went all in. You know, for me, it's always been all or nothing. I surrounded myself around a bunch of hungry individuals, people with talent. And I just figured, you know, whatever I don't know, I'll figure it out. And I'll surround myself around people that do know it. And I'll be okay. And I was okay. Same way I told all my kids, hey, man, if you believe in yourself, others will believe in you. So you have to bet on yourself very early. And that's what I did. And that was really the key to my success personally.
I was fortunate enough to have both my parents, as I mentioned earlier, were entrepreneurs. So I saw, what it was to, work for yourself and bet on yourself and, not really care about the big corporations. When you're doing that, it's important to plan, and I hate saying that because when I was growing up, I didn't really want to be a planner. I just wanted to go with the flow and do that. But whether you're an entrepreneur, starting your own business, or even just, reselling shoes or listing stuff on eBay, it's important to have a plan. So for me, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, and I knew that I wanted to work in sneakers and fashion. So I had to get that experience and build it up and do what I can so I could start my own firm. So that plan and that game plan is really what helps and pushes you towards the next step.
Understand the business. There's a lot of broke, talented people out here because they're talented, but they don't know how to monetize the talent. And they pretty much hustle backwards. But one of the first things I did when I opened up my first business in Jersey City was I went to the courthouse to register the business because my partners were street dudes. They were all talented, but they were essentially street guys, right? So I said, I got to register the company. I got to do all the legalities. So I bought this book on copyright. I learned all about copyright because I figured the more I was educated business-wise, the more I would succeed.
I would say for me, the two biggest pointers is charisma and networking. Charisma gets you in the door, and then you have to put in the legwork to network. By building upon that network, you're able to then have unlimited resources for whatever needs you need for the business.
How important, once you make this decision to be the entrepreneur, the independent business, how important is networking?
Super important. I mean, you guys are all here right now, that you're doing it. That's the most important thing, I think. To be honest, doesn't matter what degrees you have, what job you have, most of the time it's really who you know. Yep. And it's not just who you know, but you got to be a good person too, and you got to be consistent. The dirty work is what happens after, following up, getting phone numbers, getting cards saying, hey, Sean, nice to meet you. How can we work together? Or, how can I help you?
I think for me, like the biggest thing or the easiest way to get to network with someone is just to genuinely find interest in them. Anything that connects you with that person will immediately give you like that one string that you can always pull back on and you can grow off of. Whether that's, oh man, I like your Jordan 1s. Automatically later on, you'll be like, oh yeah, that was the guy that liked the Jordan 1s. Like I don't remember his name, but he remembers my shoes, so we have something together, And from that can just blossom into, the next event, it'll get you in for free, or the next time, that person needs a Jordan 1, he'll come to you or she'll come to you because, you're in that space. And it's just putting yourself out there at the end of the day. Like, I know that a lot of people don't like to put themselves out there just because of the natural fear that comes to us humans. But at the end of the day, the only thing the other person can tell you is no. And there's too many people in the room just to not take that approach.
But as an entrepreneur, you need to know why a no is a no, as opposed to, well, maybe, or, okay, yes, this time. No, as an entrepreneur, is one of the most important things you're going to hear. Because if you're really about the life that you set out to be and become and live every day, that no is supposed to be the road to improvement, to innovation, to flipping your game plan, however you're going to flip it. For everyone here, do not have imposter syndrome if you're in the room with some of these bigger, more established companies as a small independent entrepreneur. Don't shrink yourself down to thinking, well, I don't know if I really belong in this room. If you're in the room, pardon the way I say this, you're in the fucking room and you're there for a reason. So never shrink yourself in the presence of being with these big brands in the room for whatever project it is. Doesn't matter the amount of money. If you're in the room with them and you're called to be in front of them and show what you know, do that.